Okay, I don't know if you guys have come to the same realization that I have, but I am convinced that Kansas City is bipolar, manic, depressive, schizophrenic with this weather. This is ridiculous. It is officially 100 degrees in my greenhouse. It's like 75 outside, and tonight it's supposed to be friggin' 20 degrees. What the crap? So, yeah, our bipolar, manic, depressive, schizophrenic weather of Kansas City is not really helping us on the gardening front. But here's my deal. I'm trying to get all this stuff in the ground today so it can get some of the moisture that's going to happen the next couple days, supposedly happen. For all we know, the next week in Kansas City, it could rain, it could hail, it could snow, it could be a tornado, or it could be like California, which right now it feels like California. So my plan for today, so if you have been following the last week or two, I've got thought here behind my fence line that I'm doing kind of a zone 2, yay 3 kind of permaculture deal where I'm trying to, I removed all the invasive honeysuckle and I'm trying to get some food forest goodness planted in there. So the stupid cold weather has killed a couple of my plants in the greenhouse. What are you gonna do? You win some, you lose some. But for right now, my greenhouse is full and over, which is either an indicator that I have too many plants, which we know that that's not the case, or it's an indicator that my greenhouse is just simply too small and I need a bigger greenhouse. So right now, I got about 125 plants that I need to get in the ground today to do this food forest thing behind the house. So let me show you what I've got. I'll give a couple updates during the day today on doing this food forest. But if you're in the Midwest, these varieties that I'll tell you about have got pretty broad range in zones. Everything from a hardy kiwi here in the Midwest, which I bet you didn't know you could grow kiwi here, to gooseberries, strawberries, kind of you name it. So easy food forest stuff to help you with some of those crazy areas on your property to do an easy low to no maintenance food forest. So here's what I got on the radar for today. I've got two varieties of wild strawberries, like an alpine strawberry, both of which are ground cover. I've got some gooseberries here, gooseberries there. That's a hops vine, ground cover wintergreen, another gooseberry, an elderberry, and I forgot, what is that? That's a gooseberry on the back. So I've got massive trays. I've started using this new company called Hartmann, Hartmann. It's a company from Michigan. So the reason why I started using these companies, one, I'm originally from Michigan. Spoiler. Secondly, Michigan is a lot colder, obviously, than Kansas City. So if it's hardy in Michigan, it's going to be hardy here in Kansas City. So the hard part with being in the Midwest is we get such a broad range of temperatures and fluctuations. Insert this week's forecast here. It's hard to find varieties that are going to be truly hardy for us. So that's why I veer on the side of using stuff from Michigan, because if it's cold, hardy for Michigan, it's going to be cold hardy here. So what I've done with those varieties, I ordered those from Hartmann. They've got, I think it's 100 plug minimum, but the plugs are fairly small. So you're going to get like this size for your strawberries. This was the gooseberry size. So it's about, comparison to my hand, twice as tall as my hand. I don't know, 10, 12 inches tall. And then some of the Amish gooseberries, those are a good 18 inches tall, probably. This company has blown me away, and I get no kickback from them. I don't think they even know my name. But Hartmann from Michigan Nurseries, the way that they shipped the products was probably the best plant shipment that I've ever received in the history of 5ever. The quality of them when they came in are phenomenal. They've got sprouts on them, good growth, good stem. The branch structure is great. So I've been really happy with the way that they shipped them. And they put one extra of every single plant that I ordered, which is like 11 different varieties. So I thought that was really kind of cool that they put in those extra ones for the order on them. So here's what I'm doing with that stash of the gooseberries, strawberries, yada, yada, yada. In Missouri, we have this stupid, invasive, godforsaken honeysuckle that basically spreads everywhere. So you can see here's on the neighbor's kind of property. edge. Anything green that you see, yeah, that's invasive honeysuckle. So what I did behind my house is I stripped it all out, cut it all off. You know, I'm going to be digging it up forever. It's really hard to actually beat, but I'm doing a couple rounds of food forest planting to get this area set. So in the front part of the area, I'm doing the full sun, you know, need things with some pollinators, and then in the back half of the area, it's the more shade-loving, shade-tolerant plants. And there's enough variety in the species that if one works and the other one doesn't, I'm okay. They'll spread, they'll take over. And because the honeysuckle is so invasive, I'm using a couple different kinds of ground cover, a couple varieties of clover, wheatgrass, buckwheat, probably a couple other things that I'm forgetting, but that's basically the gist. So let me give you kind of a tour. Sorry about the top knot. Hair's getting in my face. So goats, will they eat it? Yeah, but I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, and our city basically hates goats. My neighbors love my chickens, but the neighbors hate the goats. So yes, the goats would eat it, but I'm in the city doing the urban gardening things. Got to do the best I can. So right now, phase 1, cleared out all of the invasive honeysuckle. I've had wildflowers planted here to here for the last 4 years. I got my wildflower seed mix from prairiemoonnursery.com. Really happy with that mix. They say it takes 1 to 2 years to get established. They lied. It's about 3 to 4 years to get established. So don't believe any of that crap. If you're trying to buy the mixes from Lowe's or Home Depot, dear God, save your money. It's just, those prairie mixes and perennial mixes are crap. You're gonna get 1 year of a couple annuals that will come up and everything else dies. So I don't know who tests that junk, but don't trust that jank. So cleared out all the honeysuckle. I did round 1 of planting here. So this has been 4 to 5 years of the wildflowers. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. It's called All-in-One Almond Tree, which is an almond tree that is hardy from here to Michigan, which is crazy awesome. And then I have blueberries. Yeah, you can see the white tags there. There's 42 blueberry plants between there and here. And I got the grow blueberries. So those are really common in Wisconsin and Michigan and Minnesota. They grow out in the woods. Huckleberry, I think some people call them. But it's basically a low grow blueberry. I did amend the soil slightly with sulfur, but not much. And then I sprayed all of the land behind me with a mix from SCD Probiotics, local here in Kansas City. That's a bioremediation blend, just because I don't know what kind of oil or toxins or whatever is coming downstream, because there is a stream behind the house. So I put that probiotic spray on there to do any bioremediation needs for me. So after I clear all the honeysuckle, I spread seed of wild clover, white clover, Dutch clover, yellow clover, red clover, and crimson clover, because all of those are nitrogen fixers. A little bit of wheatgrass, and then I'll do a little bit of buckwheat later. So that's hopefully going to crowd out a lot of that invasive honeysuckle, repair nitrogen in the soil. I have some goji berries here called Phoenix Tears, all you Harry Potter fans, what? Some more low-grow blueberries around my composting bin. And then along the wood edge of the entire area, I planted some Jerusalem artichoke or sunchokes. So artichokes or sunchokes, if you don't know about these, one, do not plant them in your yard, in your garden, unless you have space for them to spread forever. But secondly, the top, it's in the Helianthus family, so it's sunflower. So it's a perennial sunflower that will come back year after year forever. So the nice thing is they're one of the last things to bloom in the fall, late fall. So great pollinator, really pretty, like 20, 30, flowers per stalk. But then secondly, the tuber is edible. It's like a water chestnut meets a potato, basically. And you can literally leave them in the ground for the entire winter, dig them up as you need them, as you want to eat them. And I make them basically like potatoes au gratin. So I can send you my recipe if you really want. So I'm that nerdy. So I love them, but they do spread. So if you've got a small yard or you want them in your garden, plan on them taking over your entire garden, because even if you harvest all of them, they will grow back. They're beautiful, great pollinator, wonderfully edible, delicious, but they will take over the entire planet if you let them. So I did those on the edge of the area that I that I cleared out, sorry. So that way it would perform basically as a wall, as a barrier to stop the honeysuckle from coming back into the area. And I wanted the visual barrier along the back because those things will get to be 17 feet tall. Now online it says 8 or 9 feet. Again, that is a lie. Mine last year on my house were 17 feet tall. They were as tall as the roof on some of the parts of the house, which was great. I mean, it blocked the side of the house that I needed to be shaded for energy efficiency. So that's what I did along the back. So that I've got in the greenhouse today, the gooseberries, the strawberries, yada yada. Because I've adjusted the soil here with a little bit of sulfur for the blueberries, that's going to be perfect for wintergreen because wintergreen does like the lower, more acidic pH. So I'm going to use the wintergreen here as a ground cover on this part of the food forest. So here's the yard, kitchen, garden, chicken tractor, house, yard, shed, flower garden, another kitchen garden on the side. So all of my pollinator wildflowers, full sun, are here. And then I've got low grow blueberries and the ground cover wintergreen and the almond trees here. Another row of blueberries, and I'll do in between some of the herbs. So the reason why I'll do around the fruit tree area, herbs, because of the essential oils and the scent, are a deer repellent, pest repellent, which is great obviously for any kind of a fruit tree. But it starts to get a little bit shadier. Now I've cleared out a lot of the trees. We've cut here, cut here, cut here. So it's, semi shade, part sun. It's going to get about 4 hours of sunlight during the day. So in that area of the yard, I'm doing some of the elderberries. I'll do some more of the full sun gooseberries because there are some varieties like Amish that do better full sun. And then we'll also put in a few, what was the other one? Goji berry back in there. So I've got those in the greens. So we're going from the full sun stuff here, part shade, and then the more full shade things, which would be shorter varieties of the gooseberries and currants. Those do really well in those shaded areas. So that's kind of the plan for today. I've got between 100 and 125, 140, I haven't even counted yet, plants to get in the ground that are plug size. I'll get back in that food forest area. Give you a couple updates during the day today if you're interested. But honestly, I've been shocked at how easy it is to clear out the area and do the food forest stuff. And these are all plants that are gonna last way beyond my lifetime or your lifetime. So you're planning something not just for yourself, but for a lot of generations to come. So kind of a cool project. So if you're following along, I'll give you a few tips during the day today, but other than that, stay tuned and enjoy.